Alright, so I've got two pieces of Disney news that I really wanted to talk about today, so let's just get into it. Now, first off, Disney had an earnings call this week, and this is where the CEO, Bob Iger, addresses the shareholders of the company and talks about how the company's been doing for the last quarter and what the company is going to be doing in the future. So naturally, this is a very good time for the CEO of Disney to announce some new projects and tell a little bit about what's coming up for the rest of the year. And one of the announcements that stood out the most to me was the announcement that we will be getting Moana 2 this November. Now, we already knew that some kind of sequel project to Moana was being worked on. This project was originally supposed to be a series on Disney+, but according to Iger, they were very impressed with what they'd seen and they thought that it deserved a theatrical release. And I gotta say, I really like that they're going this route with a movie instead of a series for Moana 2. I just think Moana 2 is going to make a lot more of an impact on people. We're going to remember that a lot more than some Moana series on Disney+. Even if the series was good, we just haven't seen a good series that really resonated with people on Disney+ from Walt Disney Animation. There obviously has been good series on Disney+, but just not from the animation studio. So I definitely think this is the right call. I also found it very interesting that Iger said that the original Moana recently crossed 1 billion hours streamed on Disney+, and it was the most streamed movie on any streaming service in the US in 2023. That's kind of impressive. I wonder if last year's announcement of the live-action version of Moana helped people be reminded of the original film, and that's why it got that many views on Disney+. But in any case, I think that's really interesting. I didn't know that Moana was that popular. I mean, I like the movie, I have seen it multiple times, but it's interesting that it beat Frozen or Tangled and all of these other great Disney movies, and that was the most popular movie last year. I'd love to hear you guys' take on that. Please let me know in the comments. Now, we don't know much about the story of Moana 2 yet. That hasn't been announced. All we got was this very, very short teaser. I think it's pretty safe to bet that the original voice actress of Moana, Auli'i Cravalho, is going to reprise the role in this sequel. She did post a video to Instagram about this announcement. And I'm also pretty sure that we're going to see Dwayne Johnson return as Maui in the sequel, given he is also playing Maui in the live-action version. Dwayne Johnson basically is Maui in the Moana films, so I don't think they could make a Moana sequel without him, even though no casting really has been announced yet. Like I said, Moana 2 is going to be in theaters this November, and I'm pretty excited about it. This is, as far as I know, the only Walt Disney Animation feature film we're going to get this year. So, fingers crossed. Now, the second piece of news that I wanted to talk about is actually not something that was announced at the earnings call. No, this is a report that apparently we will be getting a new Frozen film on Disney Plus very shortly. Now, last year, Bob Iger surprised us all when he announced that not only were we getting Frozen 3, we were also getting Frozen 4. But this is not any of those films. This is something completely different. According to the website Filmed on Stage, the stage musical version of Frozen was apparently filmed just like last week in London with the intent of putting it on Disney+, much like what they did with the Hamilton musical. I think this is a great idea. I've been wanting to watch that musical for a long time, but it's incredibly hard to get tickets to it, and also you have to be in either London or New York or wherever it plays. It definitely doesn't play anywhere near me, so it's a bit of an expense to go watch that. If I could just watch it on Disney Plus, I definitely would. And I don't really think it takes away from the actual watching it live in a theater, because that's just a completely different experience of actually being there and seeing it live. And this is also a great way for Disney to keep the excitement around the Frozen franchise living and breathing while we are waiting for the upcoming 2 movies, because it'll probably be at least a year, probably 2, before we see Frozen 3. Now, with both this story of the Frozen musical coming to Disney Plus and the upcoming Moana 2 film, I think it's pretty clear that Disney is really betting hard on trying to keep the fans coming back for more of the content that they know and love already. And I think they need that right now. They didn't do too hot last year. That was a tough year for Disney. I mean, 2023 was supposed to be a big celebration year for Disney. It was their 100th anniversary, but they just had one box office flop after another. And the last handful of animated films from the Walt Disney Animation Studios have been not that well received. I really liked that they've tried some new things and went some different routes. I liked Raya and the Last Dragon, and while I don't think Wish was anything new or groundbreaking, I do think it succeeded in celebrating all that is Disney, but people just didn't watch those films. So while it's sad that Disney keeps pumping out sequels and remakes, I do think it makes sense for them to focus on the stories that have already proven themselves and that people already love. But that's just my take on it. What do you guys think? Are you excited for the Moana sequel? Will you be watching Frozen the Musical on Disney Plus? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want more videos from me. But with that said, that's pretty much all I had for you today. My name is Martin Riise. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care and so long.